Are we recording? We're recording now at this point. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call this meeting to order, and we're asking everyone to please rise for a short prayer and salute to our flag. Almighty God grants us the wisdom to make those decisions that are in the best interest of all of our residents. May the Heavenly Father of us all bless those who have given the ultimate sacrifice in service to our nation, and may He watch over and protect our servicemen and women now guarding the gates of freedom, and a salute to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, Republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Statement of publication, please, Jessica.
Take notice that this regular meeting of the Mayor and Council being held on this 14th day of June 2021 has been advertised and posted in accordance with Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975.
Roll call, please.
Councilpersons Conti,
Here.
Delina,
Here.
Enriquez,
Here.
Barr, Novak, Roberts, and our professionals, the business administrator,
Present.
CFO,
Here.
engineer,
Here.
attorney.
Here.
Okay, thank you very much, Jess. We're going to move over to the approval of our prior minutes. Council President Delina, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I move the following minutes as listed in the agenda approved for May 24th and May 25th, 2021.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilpersons Delina,
Yes.
Conti,
Yes.
Enriquez,
Yes.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now I'm excited to actually have under our presentations today Mr. Sean Wright, who is going to discuss with us an idea that he has for his Eagle Scout Award project. Mr. Wright, are you there?
Thank you, Mayor. I'm here.
Hi, Sean. I'm very excited to hear about some of the wonderful ideas that you have. I know that they're focused mainly around the area of our Capic Nature Preserve. So I'm going to turn the floor over to you, Sean, and please let our council know and the public know what your ideas and your plans are.
Okay, thank you. Okay. May I have permission to stream my screen or share my screen?
Of course, Sean, you may share your screen. That would be wonderful.
Where is that listed under here?
A few seconds, yeah. It might take a minute or two for it to actually load.
Okay.
So I'll let you know when I can see it, because you can probably see what you want to present. I don't see that yet.
Waiting. I'll get started while I'm waiting. It's not necessary for me to be presenting.
Are you sure? Hold on one second, because I know that you put a lot of effort and a lot of work into this, Sean. So if it takes a couple extra 30 seconds or so.
Did you hit share screen on the bottom?
No, I don't see it yet.
Is there a pop-up thing that comes up that says chat, share screen?
I see chat and raise hand.
Yeah. And the mute button.
Mm-hmm.
I know you have a very, very smart and competent educator with you. So wait a minute, because we're going to see if we need to do something on our end.
Is it because is he on as a panelist, or is it because he's not?
Can he see it now? Because he was promoted to panelist. So
Oh,
down at the
okay.
bottom.
That green share button.
Yep.
Thank you.
There you go. You've been upgraded to from panelist now to a moderator. Congratulations, Sean.
We're saying it
Wonderful.
now.
All right.
Now we see your work. Go ahead, honey.
Okay. So my name is Sean Wright. I'm a Life Scout in Sayreville's Troop 96, and I'm working on my Eagle Scout project. So the location I am planning on doing my Eagle Scout project at is Julian L. Capic Nature Preserve on Bordentown Avenue. Why this location? I feel that this local resource is currently underutilized. beautiful location that many people in town don't know about. And I feel it'll be a lot more appreciated if it would be known. I also have very fond memories from Cabot throughout my scouting career, and I would love to preserve this location for future generations. So my project idea is to facilitate the update of the trail map with the assistance of CME, add trail markers to the public trails, clean up the trails of trash and debris, and create an orienteering course. So the current map is about 15 years old, and it does not show current trail closures or restricted areas. So this is an example of one of the trail markers I would have. It'll be a 4x4 post about 4 or 5 feet out of the ground with these round plaques on them. The orienteering course I would like to put in, for those who don't know what an orienteering course is comprised of a start point and a series of control points. You can set your own order or follow a predetermined order to set your own length. And you must use a geographical map or a topographic map and a compass to navigate to each of the points. When the new map is updated and I have all the information written down, I would like to have it posted on the recreation page for download for anyone to use. The main groups that would benefit from this would be the Civil Air Patrol, the high school's AFJ-ROTC, local orienteering clubs, of course, Boy Scout troops, and OEMS to practice search and rescue skills. So this is the estimated cost for all the materials. Right now, we don't know how much the map would cost.
Summarize it for the people that are on the phone, okay?
Okay. So with the trail markers and the orienteering markers would be using our 4x4 posts. They're about $30 per 12 feet. Sika fence post mix, about $15 per bag or per post. And that's just a lighter version of concrete. It's an expandable foam. Yeah. Trail markers would be about $1.50 per marker. And we would need about 20 posts for the trail markers itself. And that would total about $36 per marker. And the total is $720 for all the trail marker stuff. For the orienteering markers, it'll be the same posts at the same price, the same fence post mix, and the control markers would be about an estimated $3 each. And a couple of the control markers would be shared posts with the trail markers, but I plan to have at least 6 not shared with them at separate landmarks. And the total for the orienteering markers would be about $200.
So for a total of,
Yep, for a total of $958 plus the map costs. So what will I do after this? Once I get you the council's approval, I will submit the plan for review by the Monmouth Council Boy Scouts of America Eagle Scout Proposal Committee. Once approved by the council, I will start my project at an estimated date around August 15th of this year. What I'm asking for, I'm looking for council's approval to complete this Eagle Scout project at CAPIC. And I'm also seeking assistance in acquiring the resources needed to complete this project. Any questions?
Wow, Sean, what a phenomenal presentation that you have here. I'm very impressed, and you did an excellent job with the actual presentation itself. I get very excited, the teacher in me, when we have the visuals to go along with it, and then to turn around and see that you work so diligently, even on your budgeting, is very, very impressive. So I personally don't have any additional questions for you right now. Does anyone from the council have a question? I just lost connection.
Yeah, I don't have any questions. I just want to commend Sean on a great job and great initiative. You know, I that's the biggest part of it, just wanting to get involved for good reason and putting together a good plan for this. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you.
I concur, Sean. This is fantastic. I think you did a great job putting everything together, pulling all the data, and it's definitely would be a great project.
Thank you.
So Sean, let me just ask you very quickly now, from us, you need approval. Obviously, we're going to turn around and we'll do an official motion to make certain that everybody on the council is comfortable with this. I can't imagine anybody has an issue. And then obviously, our team of professionals here, and as you had mentioned, working with CME, which I think is a wonderful idea. We do have Jay Cornell is our engineer from CME, so I'm certain he's kind of excited. We've been talking about the Catholic Nature Preserve for quite a number of years, and I love the idea of upgrading that map, but also providing paths that are clearly marked with some of your ideas there, and it really is a well-thought-out plan. Sean, do you have any additional concerns or things that you need to ask of us aside from what you already presented? You mentioned when you would conclude the project. How long do you think it will take in order to get approval from the Monmouth County, is it the Monmouth Boy Scout organization?
Around 2 weeks would be the estimated time.
That's excellent. So you would be able, and I love that you're looking at the August 15th date. It's very close to my birthday. So yeah, you're giving me a little bit of an early birthday present. I look forward to that. Obviously, you know, you can reach out to any of us on the council for assistance as well, in addition to the professionals that you've noted. I'm excited to see this start for you, and I'm very happy you were able to present today. At this point, I'll ask for, do we have to have a formal motion then at this point in order to accept young Mr. Sean Wright's proposal to start his Eagle Scout project?
Yes.
Well, that is one more question. And remember, as a council, one of the things that you're asking us for is to also help you fund this project, correct, Sean?
Yes, Mayor.
Yes. I know your mom, she's a wonderful woman, but I don't know if she's going to be opening up her wallet. That's close to $1,000. So if the council is comfortable with that, remember that we're also agreeing to fund this project. And those are estimated costs. I won't hold you to those exact dollar amounts, because here in government world, there's different rules that we have to follow regarding some funding. So keep that in mind, council, as we approve that as well. We'll be also approving the funding of this project. So at this point, do we have a motion in order to accept Mr. Wright's project for his Eagle Scout Award? That would
Absolutely.
include any funding.
I will make that motion.
Is there a second?
I second it. I second.
Let's have a roll call then, please.
Councilpersons Delina,
Yes.
Conti,
Yes.
Enriquez.
Yes.
Oh, Mr. Wright, I am excited. If you heard that roll call, that was a unanimous roll call in support of your Eagle Scout project. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
I look
Thank you.
forward to helping you too. Reach out to us at any time. Congrats.
Okay, thank you. And thanks for your time.
Thanks. You're very, very welcome. Great presentation. Take care, guys.
Have a good night. Bye.
Night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Okay. With that, I'll just double check. Do we have any need for executive session today? Council, Mr. DuPont?
No, we do not, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Then we're going to move on to old business. We have a public hearing on two ordinances. Jessica?
Ordinance number 530-21, an ordinance amending Chapter 26, Section 81.7 of the revised general ordinances of the Borough of Saraville prohibiting all classes of adult use cannabis license and medical marijuana facilities.
At this time, I will open to the public for any and all comments or questions regarding ordinance number 530-21. If you wish to speak, please press star 9 now. Just give me 2 seconds, see. I don't see any. I do not see any hand raises at this time, so I will entertain a motion. That would be planning and zoning. We're going to go to Councilman Delina.
Thank you, Mayor. I move the public hearing be closed, the ordinance adopted on second and final reading and advertised according to law.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilpersons Delina,
Yes.
Conti,
Yes.
Enriquez.
Yes.
Okay, public hearing on ordinance number 531-21, an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 12 of the revised general ordinances of the Borough of Saraville to amend Section 12-3.5, property rental and resale inspection.
At this time, I will once again open up to the public for ordinance number 531-21 only. If you wish to speak, please press star 9 now. And I did just lose connection again, so no one? Okay, so seeing no hands raised, I will entertain a motion. Once again, Councilman Delina.
Thank you, Mayor. I move the public hearing be closed, the ordinance adopted on second and final reading and advertised according to law.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilpersons Delina,
Yes.
Conti,
Yes.
Enriquez.
Yes.
Okay, at this point, we're going to move on to, we have a public hearing on the grant application. Jess?
Yes. We're conducting a public hearing on the submission of a grant application to the NJDEP's Urban Parks and Green Acres Program to request financial assistance for park improvements to Jerry Us Recreation Complex.
And we need to open to the public on that as well. So I will open to the public, and if anybody has any comments or questions, please press star 9 now. I do not see any. Do you see any on your side? Mr. Robinson? Mr. Robinson, you're in the public portion. Please state your name and address for the record, please.
Jim Robinson, 11 Burrell Square, Parlin. I'm always happy to hear about park improvements and what they are.
Jim, I think,
Claire's on too.
yep, Claire's on as well. I think your call got dropped, or at least your audio got dropped a little bit. Are you just saying that you're excited about having the grant improvements, or was there a question along with that?
And could you please explain what the improvements are?
Yes, we actually have our grant writer on the call with us. Claire, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, so I'm
Okay.
going to turn this over to you.
Okay. Hello, everyone. So the borough is looking to do some park improvements at the Jerry Us Recreation Center. I think it's on Bordentown Avenue. Correct me if I'm wrong. They're going to be putting in a walking track and some other just basic park improvements at that recreation complex. And it doesn't require any matching funds from the municipality.
Thank you, Claire. I also believe that there would be some additional fields along with lighting, and I think some additions to the parking lot in order to accommodate some of the new structures that would be going in there as well. But most importantly, Claire, and I appreciate you saying that there's no matching funds with that. So the grant, in fact, is that grant. So it's no matching funds from the borough, which I think is important to highlight.
Yeah, it's going to be the lighted baseball and softball fields, a mile-long jogging path, and then the installation of some new parking. And those are the three main components.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Claire, don't hang up, obviously.
No problem.
Jim, did you have any additional
Oh,
questions?
that's it. Thank you. That's excellent. I appreciate that very much.
Thanks, Jim. No problem. And thank you, Claire, very much for all of your work, not just on this project, but you have been doing a phenomenal job for the borough with obtaining so many grants, and I appreciate your updates all the time and your reports as well.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you very much. You're welcome to stay on the call if you wish for any other questions relating to grants.
Okay.
If not, have a great night. All right, we're going to move on then to, actually, I skipped over our COVID-19 update because I was so excited over our Eagle Scout Award.
Hey, Mayor, are you gonna vote to approve the public hearing on the submission to accept?
That would be a great idea, and then we'll go over to the COVID-19.
Mike, we have a resolution for that on.
Yeah, that's fine, that's fine. Okay,
Okay.
that's the amended, okay, thanks.
Okay, so then we'll hold off on that until we go through the reso on that, correct?
It's on the list of resolutions.
It's under, yes, it's under the resolution. So, does anybody else from the public have a question regarding the grant? If not, we're going to move on to the remainder of our agenda. Is it on there, Jess? You want to just double check?
Hold on.
So,
It's resolution number 137, authorizing the submission of a grant application.
it's at the top of the page. The rest of the new business, I would just like to give one update regarding our COVID-19 latest information, and I think it's an important one, and it's an exciting one because our borough buildings are officially reopened at this point for residents. The only thing that we ask is that you please wear a mask for your safety and for the protection of our employees. In addition to that, our senior center is also slowly beginning to reopen again in order to get our seniors back into the buildings and doing this events that they love. And that does it for my COVID-19 update. I want to keep it with our positive light. Please remember to continue to get vaccinated to keep our numbers down and keep our community safe. We can then move on now to the new business, and that, I believe, is clerk's report.
Yep. I would just like to report that I received a supplemental debt statement received from CFO Denise Biancamano as of June 14, 2021.
Thank you very much. We don't have to do any,
Need a motion.
we
to
just a
receive
motion.
file.
We don't have to open. We just have to take a motion. Can I have a motion, please, to receive the supplemental debt statement?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
We need a roll call on that, Jess? Roll call, please.
Councilperson Selena,
Yes.
Conti,
Yes.
Enriquez.
Yes.
Okay, moving on now to the introduction of the following ordinances. Jess?
Bond ordinance number 532-21, bond ordinance to authorize the making of a grant for the development and construction of affordable housing redevelopment project in, by, and for the Borough of Sayreville in the County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $2,275,000 to pay the cost thereof, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds.
I'll turn that over to the Administration and Finance Committee. I will have Councilman Conti. That motion?
Thank you, Mayor. I move the ordinance be approved on first reading, advertised according to law, and a public hearing to be held on June 28th, 2021.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilperson Conti,
Yes.
Selena,
Yes.
Enriquez.
Yes.
Okay, introduction of ordinance number 533-21, an ordinance supplementing and amending ordinance number 437-19, fixing the salaries of certain borough officials, officers, and employees for the years 2020 to 2022.
Once again, Councilman Conti, under Admin and Finance, please.
Thank you. I move the ordinance be approved on first reading, advertised according to law, and a public hearing to be held on June 28th, 2021.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilperson Conti,
Yes.
Selena,
Yes.
Enriquez.
Yes.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, at this point, we are going to move over to consent agenda resolutions. Anybody from the public wishing to speak on the consent agenda resolutions only may press *9 now. And I do not see any hand raises from my end, ladies. Okay, so I will entertain a motion to close the public portion and accept the consent agenda resolutions.
Thank you, Mayor. I move the consent agenda. I move the public portion be closed and the consent agenda items be adopted on roll call vote.
Second.
Roll call, please. Councilperson Selena,
Yes.
Conti,
Yes.
Enriquez.
Yes.
Not used to having that short of a roll call, Justin. I apologize for that wait. At this time, I'll move over to the Borough Attorney, Mr. Dupont. Any report?
No, ma'am.
Thank you very much. And at this time, then, I will open to the public for any and all comments or questions. Please press star 9 now if you have any comments. And I see a few hands up. I see a Taylor, and I apologize if I mispronounce. Is it Bernowski? Please state your name and address for the record.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, Taylor, we can hear you loud and
Yes,
clear.
it is Taylor Bernosky, 71 Pulaski Ave.
Okay, Taylor, what is your question?
Great, thank you. So I'm calling this evening not only on behalf of my grandfather, but really on behalf of all seniors in Saraville. My grandpa is a member of multiple clubs at the senior center. And as the senior center begins to reopen and clubs begin to restart over the next coming months, it does send a message to our seniors that it is safe to attend and all safety precautions are being met and made. And before my grandpa goes back, I would like to know that the necessary changes have been made so I can feel comfortable with him attending. Our seniors are our most vulnerable population, and there needs to be extra safety measures to be taken with them. So I have a few questions. My first and foremost regards the HVAC system at the senior center. Has it been upgraded with a minimum of a MERV 13 plus or higher filtration? Secondly, I can speak from experience myself that in the ladies' restroom, the faucets only turn on when you're holding down on the lever. As soon as you let go, the water does not come out anymore. And that does not allow you to wash your hands properly. You have to be touching one at, a given time for water to work. And when we're talking about clubs resuming and especially having food being served, have these faucets been updated to allow for proper sanitization? And third, many of the clubs have attendance that is, around 100 or greater than 100 people. How will they be spaced? Will distancing be enforced? And will vaccinations be required?
Taylor, all wonderful questions. I'm glad you brought up the MERV 13 filters. As an educator and teacher here in town, it is something that we, as staff members, as teachers, and as other support staff, we had hoped would be done in the school buildings as well. So I 100% understand the importance of that, and I'm going to defer some of these questions over to either our business administrator or possibly anybody else on the council that can answer that. I am hearing that the ladies' restrooms in regards to the faucets, I believe that they were fixed or upgraded. I'm not sure. I will once again defer that over. And absolutely 110%, I'm very excited that our senior center is looking to reopen. But like you, I do have concerns because the safety of our seniors should be most important. We know that they are still the most vulnerable group of individuals when it comes to contracting this virus and the illness that comes along with that. So, Mr. Frankel or anybody from the council have any answers, because these are wonderful, wonderful questions.
So if I may, I would like to have her number so I can get back to her, because there are some of these answers that I would tell you 80% sure, but I'd rather make sure I give you 100% sure answers. The faucets, I believe, in the restrooms were all changed, but I want to confirm that with you. The MERV 13 filters, I do not know that answer. I will confirm that with you. In reference to any of our buildings, not just seniors, we are requesting that all of our citizens come into our buildings, public buildings, with masks on. And again, we're requesting. That's our rules for coming in. That's to protect not only the residents, but also to protect our staff. I am not allowed, or we are not allowed to ask if you've been vaccinated. I mean, we can ask if you've been vaccinated, but we can't be required that you come into the building and that you're vaccinated. So we're not going to stand at the front of the senior center and say you must have a card in order to enter.
So my question, I have a follow-up regarding about the clubs. So as clubs resumed, will they not be resuming with their luncheons? Will food not be served?
So so the activities, so our senior person director is trying to, as your concern is, we are, as the seniors are the most vulnerable. I think the activities will not go back to 100% immediately. I think we're going to be phasing in. If you need a schedule of what that would look like, I think our director is trying to even make that schedule, because we just found out last week of all the rules that have been dropped by the governor's rules. So we are going to be very cautious in the senior building, and we're going to be very cautious, not just the seniors, we're going to be very cautious opening up our camps for our children also. And when I say very cautious, taking extra precautions, what that means is just being careful. We're not going to be taking temperatures anymore, but we're going to make sure that we're going to try to make sure they're social distancing. And when I say try, I just want to make sure you understand. We're going to ask them to social distance. We can't force them to social distance. We will try to make tables available. So if there's usually, say, 6 or 8 people sitting at a table, maybe there's going to be 4 people sitting at a table. If you remember the big room that seniors congregate in, even for meetings, instead of having the tables close together, we will have the tables 6 feet apart. We will have seats instead
How
of
will
having
that be
10 or
done? I just have a question. How will that be done with will the number of people be limited to allow for that spacing? Because currently at some of those luncheons, every table is taken.
Well, I'm not going to be able to give you an absolute. This is something we're to be working on with the director. And so I don't know if we're going to be, it makes sense in the beginning the caution is walk before we run. So we're not going to open the building up and say, okay, 300 members come walking in and say, here you are, and go at it. We're going to try and control. It's going to be a controlled opening for the seniors. Okay. I'm not in the operation part. I'll answer any question. If you want to write down any questions and email them to me, I will make sure that I get you exact answers. But we've talked about it. We've talked about making sure that we're opening in a controlled manner. If you want to ask anything like that, I will get you the answers and make sure that you have them.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Mr. Frankel. And I'll also put my number in the chat here so you have it.
Sure, no problem.
Taylor, if you don't want to put your number into the chat, you can always email our clerk, so that way you don't put your personal number out there. You're more than welcome to. And our clerk, you can email her it's Jessica@Saraville.com. It's up to you though, Taylor. If you're comfortable putting it in the chat, by all means, you can.
Okay. I think the chat only goes to panelists, right?
Does it only go to the panelists? I don't know, because I can see everything.
It's all panel.
Oh, it's all the panelists. So, okay, that's fine then, Taylor. It's more secure. On my end, I don't know if everybody can see it. Taylor, thank you for your questions. And more importantly, as a granddaughter myself, I understand your hesitancy and your concern. And I'll echo what Mr. Frankel said. One of the biggest things is we're obviously going to be complying with whatever the mandates and the rules are regarding the governor's orders as well as the CDC. But I also believe that it's important to take extra caution when it comes to our senior community. Way too many of our seniors have unfortunately been a part of our near 100 number of those that we've lost, and I do not want to lose not one more, nor do I want another family to have to suffer through COVID-19. I know how difficult it was. Yeah, I know how difficult COVID was for myself, and I'm a 42-year-old woman, and I cannot imagine how difficult it is for somebody that may have other health issues and stuff. So, Taylor, thank you. We will definitely make certain to call you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. I see a few more hands have gone up since we started talking, so I'm going to look. I believe the first name is Doreen. Is it Fraga? Doreen Fraga, please just unmute yourself, give us your name and your address for the record. Right now, it looked like you were still muted. Go ahead, Doreen.
Hi, thank you so much for taking my call. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, so my name is Doreen Fraga. I'm from Saddlebrook, New Jersey. I'm with Animal Protection League of New Jersey, and we were reaching out to all the municipalities throughout New Jersey to supply them with non-lethal geese management solutions. We're available for presentations, for a Zoom meeting, And we just wanted to share with the municipalities all of the many solutions instead of using the USDA to gas the geese. We have, just so many habitat modification, border collies, laser lights, drones, sprays, flight turf, fencing, signage, and the cutouts, the duty calls to clean up the poop. So we have like an array of so many, like I said, non-lethal solutions. And we were hoping that maybe we could have a meeting with you, Mayor, and the council members and present our presentation over Zoom so that we can just give you this other alternative instead of using the USDA to gas and kill the geese, which is really a horrific, horrible, inhumane event that happens to them. I have witnessed a gassing of the geese and it's horrible. They don't die right away. It takes 15 minutes. They suffocate to death. They moan, they groan, they cry. It's so bad. So that's what our mission is. We're trying to just arm all of the municipalities with alternatives in case they were not aware of them. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doreen. I appreciate all of that. I have absolutely no problem with having a presentation. I have to be honest with you, I did not know that much about the manner in which the Middlesex County that we commission with, how that process went. So I have absolutely no problem, and I love learning new things about other alternatives. So that is something that we could potentially set up if the rest of the council is interested in that.
Oh, that would be wonderful. And like I said, our presentation goes into more depth. It, will explain a lot of different things. It's impossible for me to explain everything tonight, but yeah, we just wanted the mayors and the councils of the different towns to be aware of the USDA and what they do to the animals, which is so inhumane. We have a great working relationship with a lot of the towns that have non-lethal. Edgewater in particular had implemented habitat modification and laser lights, and they did such a great job. And Tom, he's available for any kind of questions or comments that any of the towns may have. And it's working, and the people are happy because when the residents find out exactly what's happening to the geese, they're horrified. And like I said, I witnessed one of these, and it's something I will never forget for the rest of my life. It's just so horrific, and it has changed my life forever.
Thank you, Doreen. If you wouldn't mind also, sometimes it's a little bit easier too for us to digest the information. If you have any literature on that, you could send it, and that way the council can review it in our packets as well. You can send that over to us, and we can peruse it, we can review it, and then somebody can contact you and potentially do a presentation, whether it be to the public or even to the council. That would be great.
Oh, thank you so much. That would be wonderful. I really appreciate your time, Mayor, and the council.
You're very welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're going, I see another hand raised up also, and this is from, actually, Jim Robinson, you're first on the list, and then there's another number below. Jim Robinson, you're in the public again. Name and address.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Jim Robinson, 11 Burrell Square in Berlin. Last month, I raised the issue of the business fee increase, and I addressed it through the chair to Councilman Roberts only because she introduced it, not single her out. Art Rittenhouse said I was being political, and now Art's a politician. I know that's his job to say that, but he was wrong. Many of you know I've worked with a number of businesses in town to help them with the PPP loans, to get the county and state grants, and it's not something I'm being political about. This is about helping businesses, many of which are run by veterans and longtime Cerebral families. And so even though Donna sponsored the increase, I'm addressing this to everyone on the council because it isn't political. And I checked, in 2020, we raised less than $12,000, about $11,500. So that means from the business license fee. So that means about 200 businesses pay this fee. That includes restaurants that were closed for months, then had limited seating, bars which were closed for months and then were limited, sandwich, sub shops, pizzerias that were closed for months, dry cleaners which saw their business shrink tremendously, and there's nothing worse than a dry cleaner that shrinks tremendously. Hair and nail salons were impacted, candy shop that candy shop on, Maureen's Candy Shop on Washington Road closed. Gas stations took a hit. Child care centers were closed. Even the Borough Hall was closed. About the only stores that did okay were liquor stores. And the borough received $1,010,000 from the CARES Act. And there are other aid packages that haven't yet kicked in yet, so there may be more money on its way. So we increased the fee by $25 for those 200 businesses. So that comes out to about $5,000 to the borough. That's nothing. That's nothing to us. But the struggling businesses, to that dry cleaner, to that salon, $25 is something. Now, unless I'm wrong, licenses expire December 31st. So this kicks in 2022. We're not even getting the money this year. So I suggest the increase be rolled back, that the ordinance be repealed, and the increase be rescinded. Going forward, I suggest that we think about these things. Is this the best time to do this? Do we really need this increase now? Can we use some of the CARES or any of the other money to offset the pittance this increase would raise? You know, I complimented the mayor and council. You did a great job with helping our businesses with outdoor dining and things like that during the midst of the pandemic. I applauded that and thanked you all and told the business community what a great job I thought you did. I don't think you should saddle the mom and pop shops and the family-owned businesses with an increase now. So I suggest you rescind it. Thank you very much for your consideration.
Thank you, Jim, for that information. I will say I know that the council passed this particular increase in fees, and I have to say, Mr. Robinson, I do agree with you. I think for the $25 increase that this would be, and like you said, the impact really to our budget this year is not going to be realized. But what I did see and what I have heard is that we have additional businesses, small restaurants that are continuing to struggle. And whether it's a big hit to them, $25 or not, I don't count what's in other people's wallets, and I just know that they are having a difficult time. I would not be, I would encourage our council to consider the idea of at least revisiting this ordinance at a later date. Let's give our businesses an opportunity to get back on their feet a little bit. I do know that our fees in comparison to other towns are exceptionally low, and I think this still only puts us at the mid-range, even with the increase in compared to surrounding towns. But I do agree that this isn't the year to do that. Let's let our businesses know that we care about them, we see them, we hear them, and any little bit of relief or assistance that we can give them at this time, we will. But the last thing I want to do is turn around and raise even a nickel on them if I can avoid it. So, council, it's your choice what you want to do. If you want to consider repealing this, and maybe we can revisit it at the following year when we hopefully start thriving again. But that would just be my recommendation. The council has the will to do what they wish with that.
Thank you, Mayor.
I would like when we had more members of the council here to make a decision, if that's okay. Maybe we push this off until next meeting.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, we already approved it, so what we would be looking for, I'm assuming Mr. DuPont would be somebody would have to make a motion to repeal that ordinance, and then we would have to turn around and
Yeah, we'd have to amend it.
Yeah, I would
you'd
just
have
like
to
to
amend it. Okay.
I would like to look more into this and seeing if this would affect us in any way. I understand it's only, a small amount of money, but again, I would like to, just ask our CFO and our business administrator what this impact would be and not do it at this current moment.
Okay.
And also get the other opinion of our 3 other council members who aren't here today.
That's whatever the will of the council is. Like I said, those were my 2 cents. Thank you, Mr. Robinson. Anything else to add?
Yeah, the only thing I would say, I'm a little surprised at that response, but I appreciated what you said, Mayor. And the only thing I would say is I would agree with Mr. DuPont. The easiest thing to do is amend it. So change it in 2023, 2024. Not now, not this year, not next year.
Jim, I'm not saying I'm against it. I'm just saying that I would like to get more information before we make a decision. That's all I'm saying.
It's $5,000, so I understand.
Yes, it is $5,000, and I understand that that might be a small amount of money, but at the same time, we have to look at our budget and see what's going on. So I would like, again, for our CFO to look into that, and as well as Mr. Frankel, and then we can make a decision based off of that. I don't want to jump in and make any rash decisions without doing, the research and getting the information from our professionals.
Okay, thank you very much for that. So we'll wait and see what the rest of the council has to say. We're going to move on now to our next caller, and I believe that the next caller is calling in from 1482. Please state your name and address for the record.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. It's Karen Bailey Biebert, and I'm calling in first and foremost tonight from Cerebral Cares, and I would like to thank Councilwoman Marr for her time in meeting us at Kennedy Park. We walked around the park entirely, and honestly, it was in pretty good shape. A couple of things we had just noted, like there was no recycling bins around the lake, the big lake, and signage. As far as very interested in what Doreen from Animal Protection League had said, signage as far as what to feed the birds or not to feed the birds would be very helpful. We had spoke about that as well. Also, I would like to commend and thank the Boy Scouts for their care, attention, and love they're showing to our town. Absolutely outstanding. They were caught being good on the lake, and I'm just so happy that they're so interested in the Capic Nature Preserve as well. Now, another thing I wanted to, as far as the park, branch out to, I know there was a large event held in the park this past weekend. And out of curiosity, I just would like to ask who is responsible for that cleanup. And I know it was a county event. There was county staging trailers there. And maybe you can answer that question for me, please.
I'm sorry, can you just repeat that question again? I didn't hear you. It got a little
Sure. Yeah,
low.
the reception's been a little bit weird, actually, on this. It's usually not like that. It's usually pretty good. Anyway, this past weekend, there was a large capacity event in Kennedy Park, and I understood it had the county approval. I believe it was a county event, and I would assume Cerebral would have had to be okay with it, to have it on their property, I think. But I was just curious, who is responsible for that cleanup work?
I will defer that to Mr. Frankel.
Mayor, the people who put on the event paid for the cleanup.
Okay, great. Thank you for answering that, Mr. Frankel. Now, seeing as things seem to be transitioning back to normal with the borough buildings open, and that's awesome. I know a lot of people are happy about that. Can I ask I know we're late for the fireworks because obviously no preparations were made, and that's not something you can do in 2 weeks. But what about Cerebral Day? Will we be having Cerebral Day in Kennedy Park?
I'm going to defer that over to Councilman Enriquez. He's our recreation liaison from the council, and I know that he's been the one that's been in contact with our new rec director as well as the Recreation Advisory Board for an update.
Yeah, Karen, we are planning on going ahead with our Sayreville Bicentennial. We are trying to plan to have, don't set it in stone, but we are trying to plan to have fireworks for that event to make up for the missing the July 4th, because I did try and get our new rec director to see what our costs were for the fireworks and what it would take to get it done. And it was just going to be too much. It was too short of a time to get it going. So we are going to try and plan on having our bicentennial Sayreville Day and hopefully have fireworks for that event.
Great, thank you.
Damon, I'm glad you mentioned the fireworks because I know there's a lot of discussion and chatter on Facebook and other social media outlets regarding the fireworks display here. Can you explain to the residents exactly why and who recommended that our fireworks display not go on this year as planned?
It was well, pretty much by the time executive orders came down from the governor that would allow it, we were behind the 8 ball on it.
whoever had fireworks already planned, we have our fireworks in place by January, February, going to vendors by then, having it set up. So we were way, way behind on being able, because we really didn't know what was going to happen or how this this COVID-19 pandemic was going to pan out. So from there, we decided to, as the rec board and the recreation department, we tried to do everything we could as soon as we could, but unfortunately, we weren't able to get fireworks in time for 4th of July. There would have been restrictions we would have had to put in, and as you all know, is a lot of entrances to Kennedy Park. We wouldn't have been able to fan everything out the way we would want it to. So we decided that it would be the best bet to try and expand on our Sayville Day bicentennial to accommodate the things we missed out for July 4th.
Thanks for that, Damon. I appreciate that information and putting that out there, because I think that sometimes people don't realize how much work, time, energy, effort it takes to really pull off a 4th of July, and I miss Jerry so much every day, although I'm very excited to have Brian, our new rec director. You're talking, the 4th of July celebration here in Saraville is the largest celebration that our town holds every year. Thousands and thousands and thousands of people come, not just from Saraville, but from all the surrounding areas. And it just takes an enormous, a Herculean effort in order to get it done and get it done right. So I appreciate that explanation, Damon, for the record, so that residents understand why and who made that decision. Thanks, Damon.
You're welcome.
I'm sure everyone will be looking forward to that. Now, bringing it full round to finish up the Kennedy Park situation. So we had a great meeting with Councilwoman Moore, as I said, and we were talking about, she had a fantastic idea about having a beautification, kind of like we used to do back in the day with the schools, with the flowers and stuff. And but we're kind of late on the draw for that at this point of the year, and there's a lot of events coming up and, you know, vacations and stuff, so participation may not be as good as we would like it. So what we had proposed and what I had suggested maybe is if maybe Saraville Cares, well, we would love to adopt Kennedy Park in a capacity where we could do a spring cleanup and beautification annually and then a fall cleanup at the end of the year. So if you guys would like to consider that, we'd be more than happy to do that. For the beautification, Michelle had suggested that perhaps we can ask people if they'd like to bring like perennials, plants, and then, you know, we can put them in certain areas that would be approved, of course, or whatnot. But those were just some of the ideas we tossed around just to kind of, you know, I appreciate what the Boy Scouts are doing. They're taking responsibility and they're taking charge and they're taking their section, and the residents, you know, that could be the gem of our town. When you were speaking, the lady was speaking earlier regarding the grants. I would hope it would be wonderful if we could get a grant. I know your wish, Mayor, was when you had mentioned Jerry a meeting or two ago regarding that. You guys, before he passed, that you had talked, and you guys had some great dreams and visions for Kennedy Park. It truly is the gem of our town in the center, and perhaps we can file for a grant where similar to what was just done for the Jerry Est, recreation center there, where the taxpayers, wouldn't have to match that. So anything greater than zero would be great. Anyway, the next thing I wanted to address was I had brought it up on the May 24th meeting. It didn't seem to get much response. I think the gentleman from CME might have said something, and it's regarding Dunkin' Donuts on Raritan Street and Main Street at the intersection. The traffic up there is horrendous. The backup going into there and, potential risk of people pulling out of there and making a left turn is very dangerous. The day of that meeting, I did file an Oprah request, Mayor, and when I got it back very quickly, I might add, actually revealed in the 2-year period from 1/1/19 to 1/1/21, 79 pages of accident reports. So I would like to know, one, why there is not an equal application of the law. Across the street, you have the learning experience. It's a very, very busy intersection. There's 5 lanes going across there at both points of those. I think 4 on the Dunkin' Donut, and, there are 4 or 5 lanes going across where those driveways go out. Now, the learning experience is a 2-way driveway in and out, and there's a no left turn sign there. And I would just like to know why there's not equal application. Safety reasons. There's such a backup there. It's such a busy intersection with the Parkway entrance being there. I know
Mr.
we get a
Cornell,
lot of-
I'm sorry to interrupt, Ms. Bailey Bieber. But Mr. Cornell, is Raritan Street a county road? And what would what are some things that we could do to make this safer over there? If can you chime in on that, please?
You're correct. Raritan Street is a county road, so county would have jurisdiction. And when that application was approved for the Dunkin' Donuts years ago, any turn restrictions would have been imposed by the county, and there obviously weren't any. After the fact, having left turn restrictions imposed on private property, I think we would have to further discuss that with the county as well as the property owner. And we also may want to have the police department comment to see if they have any other recommendations as to what could be done out there.
Well, they're already restricting the learning experience for making a left turn. So apparently somebody did this. I would, the county doesn't live in our town necessarily. All the people that make these decisions, we do. Okay, I particularly live very close to there. It's a dangerous situation. And again, 79 pages of accidents reports, really, sir, in a 2-year period, I think is not a good thing for our town and where we have to live. And I think we need to make it safer and consider the residents here that normally travel there, not just for the benefit of the commuters. And from what I understand, there's another Dunkin' Donuts that's been approved down the road. So maybe that will lighten it up, but I'm sure the commuter traffic from, to that business location, I don't know how much that will be affected, but it truly is a problem for the residents that utilize these roads and pay taxes on these roads. I would hope that you guys would really consider, if it was a county issue, that you would co-join with the residents and trying to help make that happen. Lead the way for us, if I may say so. The other traffic issue I want to bring up, I won't reiterate on the traffic signs and the speed signs. I did elaborate on that last time, but I saw something very disturbing this morning on the social media pages regarding the drag racing on Main Street Extension. I know it's kind of off the beat road, and I know there's only so many officers that can go around, but it seems to be a perpetual problem. And I guess when the police do show up there, then they just keep driving by or whatever's going on there. But it seems like we have quite a serious situation there. But what say you?
I did send a note. No, Ms. Bieber, I did send a note to Sergeant Braille about that. I haven't spoken with him about that before, so I sent him a note earlier today to get his thoughts on that, to see what he knows, what the status is, what can we do. So let me hear back from him probably tomorrow, and then I'll report back on that. Certainly is a concern. Honestly, I didn't know that was going on. I don't know if I'm oblivious to that or something, but
There was pictures too posted.
oh, I
literally.
saw that, but I didn't know that it was going on. So I have him checking it out, and I'll see what he says about it, and then we'll have a conversation. So I want to give him a
Also,
chance to check it.
I appreciate that. Thank you. And I would like to also thank you, Mayor and Council, for doing your due diligence regarding the opting out at this time of the marijuana stuff, because it means we as a town, if people are unsure of this or outsiders are unsure of this, it means we as a town get to pick and choose how we want to manage the situation, as opposed to not opting out and being forced to adopt all 6 different types of ways to handle this. We'd be forced into it. So I know you had explained some of that, Mayor, at the last meeting, and it was just re-explained to me again today, and I was very happy that you guys, are right on top of that. So, and the last thing I would like to leave you guys with tonight is my daughter is in middle school, and she's a virtual student, but her friends are not. So I had the chance to really engage with them, some of them that I don't normally see, and just ask silly questions. And one of the things that they brought up is in the bathrooms, I'm saying the girls' rooms because they're all girls, that in the middle school there is no soap. There was an issue with slipping So apparently the soap was removed from the bathrooms, and I want to know how during a pandemic, with all this happening, that's something else. I mean, you can buy those things at the restaurant depot, you know, the automatic dispensers or something where you only get so much at a time if they can't control themselves. I mean, it's not, I'm laughing, but it's really not funny that, you know, we have no soap in a time where we really need to be conscious of washing our hands. So I don't know if any of you are aware of that. Mayor, I believe you teach in that school, so I don't know if you were aware of it.
Yeah, I was aware of it, Ms. Biebert. We received notification from our principal regarding issues. Very good question. Unfortunately, I'm kind of a little hamstrung here in reference to being able to address it. The council and the mayor, we cannot address Board of Education issues, but tomorrow night at 7:30 is a Board of Education meeting. So 100%, I think it's a valid question, especially now we know hand sanitizer can do wonderful things, but there's something to be said for soap and water. So I will let the Board of Education.
No, I don't mean to cut you off, Mayor, but you know what? I know it's a Board of Education. I know the fine line, and trust me, I will be at that meeting tomorrow. That's a whole nother story. But I think it's more of a Board of Health issue, Mayor, and that is under your jurisdiction.
It is. It's just unfortunate that we as a council can't respond to that. There's very specific rules in reference to what we're allowed to get involved in and what we're not allowed to get involved in and what we're allowed to comment on in reference to the Board of Education. I will say that I 100% concur with your comment in reference to the importance of having soap in all restrooms and facilities in addition to hand sanitizer. And I do believe that it is a Board of Health issue, especially since the recommendations from the CDC include explicitly the importance of hand washing during this time in order to minimize the spread of not just COVID-19, but other germs and stuff. So I really do hope that you call in or that you attend the Board of Education meeting. I will be listening, eagerly waiting to hear what that response is as well.
I will add it to the list tomorrow night, trust me. Thank you.
Yes. Thanks, Karen, very much. I appreciate your call.
You're welcome, Mayor. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I will just add one thing since Ms. Biebert brought it up in reference to the cleanup by Boy Scout Troop number 97 over at Kennedy Park. With their help and leadership of Joe McCoy, who volunteered to clean up the spillway at Kennedy Park with the Boy Scouts, they collected a total of 18 bags of debris consisting of plastic bottles and garbage, along with 2 shopping carts. That always amazes me when the shopping carts end up in this, like, who turns around? They're not flying there. Somebody's choosing to place them in there, and I just will never understand why people choose to sink shopping carts. So a big thank you to Troop Number 97, obviously our Parks Department, who also assisted the Boy Scouts with that cleanup and community service project. We're forever grateful for all the volunteers that go out in order to beautify and make our town better, nicer, cleaner. So thank you. I do see that Ms. Frega, your hand is up again. I don't remember if it was up from before or if you wanted to add something else.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to add one more, something else that I had not mentioned earlier. The roundups for the geese are done at the end of June when they lose their flight feathers. They start to molt and they can't fly, so they're grounded. And that's when the USDA comes in, probably during the middle of the night when no one is around to see them. They corral them, they round them up, and then they put them into a gas chamber, and that's when they gas them to death. So it's kind of crucial that, like we make the towns understand that this occurs around the molt period, and which I said happens at the end of June. And that's what I wanted to add. Thank you.
Thank you very much again for that. You've already given me more of an education on this than I had ever known, so thank you. I do see a few more hand raises. I see Ruth Ann Mahoney, you're in the public session. Please state your name and address for the record. Oh, Ruth Ann, you're still muted though, so you just have to unmute. If you're talking now, I can't hear you, but it looks like you're still muted. There you go.
Ruth Ann Mahoney, 2 Gerard Place, Parlin. I'm calling a little bit a lot of bit upset tonight. I wasn't going to, but I'm going to bring it up. coming home, I work part-time just as a bus aide over, and we park at the high school. And I live on off of Ernston. Coming home once again by ShopRite, I almost didn't make it home. Because coming out of the ShopRite parking lot or shopping center parking lot, the people were waiting in line to come out. A car cut around into the right-hand lane as if they were going to make a right-hand turn, came out and made a left-hand turn. And I almost got hit. Very, very close. I understand people are coming and going and they're in a hurry, but this is becoming a problem that is worse and worse daily. I know I've spoken about this before, about the pedestrian crossing there. And it's been a bad year with COVID and things have not been able to get done. But with school reopening in September with their regular hours, I'm concerned that nothing has been done that was stated at least a year ago or two, that there was going to be lighted signage at that pedestrian crossing. There was going to be painting on the roadway. None of that has occurred. And I brought this up before. My other concern, as I'm sure you can tell, is the traffic coming out of the shopping center, and with Dunkin' Donuts going there, this is going to be a horrible, horrible thing to happen. And once again, with warehouses being built, the trucks are going to come. There's been dump trucks and dump trucks and dump trucks. And I think they don't care about the speed limit. So I am really, truly afraid. I'm afraid to walk over there because I would walk to work. I decide I'll take the car. That's not much better. So I really have issue with this. And unfortunately, I'm not alone. There's many of my people in our Sarebrook community that are very, very concerned also. And I thank you for your time, but I'd be happy to meet with Sergeant Braille once again. I have in the past. I'd be happy to do that to see if there's anything we can do to help. Thank you.
Thank you, Ruth Ann, and I'm very grateful that luckily that did not result in an accident. Listen, I'm with you 110%, and I supported the initiatives from a year ago in reference to making enhanced improvements for pedestrians over there. I agree 110% with you that at this point, we got very lucky, I think, with the pandemic when it came to the number of pedestrian traffic as a result of a lot of virtual students, even when we did go back. So we didn't see quite the congestion we're going to see in September. If the plan still moves forward that virtual schooling is no longer an option, everyone's going to be back into those buildings. So we do need to act quickly, and we need to really put those initiatives and those ideas forward that you had met with Sergeant Braille over. So I'll ask Councilman Conti as our public safety liaison. Let's start moving these smart ideas forward. Let's start getting those lighted crosswalks, those lighted stop signs, those crosswalk areas safer than what they are. And I am hopeful that at whatever phase the Dunkin' Donuts is at this point regarding either planning and zoning discussions, that when that Dunkin' Donuts goes in, that the traffic patterns and the way that that is built is going to minimally at best impact the traffic over there, and at the very least, hopefully improve the traffic and congestions that we might see over at the other Dunkin' Donuts. But let's move this forward. Councilman Conti, I don't know if you were here. Well, yeah, you were here last year when many residents came to us in reference to the safety concerns by that ShopRite intersection. So let's revisit those and get those on the fast track.
You got it.
Thank you.
will tee that up.
Councilman Conti, if you'd like to contact me, I can leave my phone number with the clerk later.
Yeah, drop that in there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Sergeant Braille, I'll have him give you a call. This
Thank
way
you
your
so much.
ideas together, you could talk about that and hopefully we fix that up for you guys.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Thank you, Ruth Ann. Thank you, Vince. All right, moving on. I see that there's another hand up. It's 1482. The last number is 1482.
Hi, Mayor. It's just Karen Biebert again from 9 Burlington Road. One question on the geese thing, maybe two. Does this happen in our town? Currently?
We do commission with Middlesex County, so I would have to turn around and review that. Does anybody know as far as the council? I do believe that the assertions are probably accurate. From
Mayor, if I
Doreen,
may,
but I would
Mayor,
have to check. Go
Mayor,
ahead.
if I may, because of, I think because of COVID and other reasons, just so all the residents know, we did not contract with Middlesex County this year.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Dan. So this is not currently going on at this point here because we did not contract with them. So I think that makes me feel a little bit better knowing that June.
A little bit, yeah. But I mean, just a little offshoot of that. Essentially, has this ever happened prior to? Because we had, COVID wasn't always here. So was this going on in our town? And she said the USDA, can they come into our town and do this without approval from our residents and our leadership? You know what an animal advocate I am. I am diligently working still with the Board of Health, developing a plan that's going to work for this town and many other, for the TNR, and many other towns, or even it's growing. So that's going to be great. But you know the animal advocate I am, and this is just horrific. I have never heard of this. I'm so thankful to Doreen and the Animal Protection League, and I will be reaching out to you, Doreen, if you're on, but through the APL. But I just, has this happened before? Does this happen normally?
I would defer over to Dan Frankel in reference to who we've commissioned with in
Mayor,
the past. And go ahead.
Mayor, we have commissioned with Middlesex County in the past. Middlesex County does a lot of different actions in order to control the geese. So is one of the actions, or many of the actions that this previous woman explained, do they do them? Yes. Are some of the geese rounded up? The answer has been yes. So it's a combination. I believe most of the county, when we have contracted with the county, it is not to round them up to go through in gas chambers with them. There are a lot of other issues that we do as preventative issues, such as moving where the geese lay their eggs, things like that. The light that's being used. We already had a meeting with another environmentalist that described some things about letting grass grow a little bit higher around Kennedy Park. Some of these things work, some of these things don't. We have tried. We've had problems, many problems that are horrific in the sense where it's happened where there's many geese in different years. This year, believe it or not, the geese have not been as big a problem as in previous years. But we didn't, and I'll be candid, we did not contract. Some of our Parks Department employees have been using some of the things that they use that are humane when environmentalists look at this. So we are looking at it. We're looking at the situation. We've already had 2 meetings with another group. So we're looking at the idea of whether we contract or what services in the contract we would use from Middlesex County. Everybody's concerned and are environmentalists. So I think we have a pretty good heads up start on this, and we'll move forward next year and determine what we can do.
I guess we'll be revisiting this next year.
Okay. Thank you very much. And let's see. Anybody else? The public portion. I'm sorry. Was I on mute? Yes. I apologize. I was on mute. I will entertain a motion at this time to close the public portion.
I make a motion to close the public portion.
Second.
And a motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Oh, I'm sorry, all in favor for the public portion closed?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, and now a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, ladies and gentlemen, that closes out our first meeting. We're going to now move directly into our second meeting. Please rise for a salute to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you once again, Jessica. Statement of publication.
Take notice that this agenda session meeting of the mayor and council being held on this 14th day of June 2021 has been advertised and posted in accordance with Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975.
Roll call, please.
Councilpersons Conti,
Here.
Selena,
Here.
Enriquez,
Here.
Marr, Novak, Roberts, and our professionals, the business administrator,
Present.
CFO,
Here.
engineer,
Here.
and attorney.
Here.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, under old business, any questions or comments for bond ordinance 532-21? Ordinance number 533-21? Okay, we are going to move on then to communications and committee reports. Administration and Finance, Councilwoman Roberts is not here, so I will respectfully ask that Councilman Conti please read her report, please.
All right, thanks, Mayor. So no minutes and departmental reports under Administrative and Finance, and we've got an application for a person-to-person transfer of PRCL 1219-44-035-003 from Mithu Inc. to Krupa South Amboy LLC, located at 467 South Pine Avenue, South Amboy. All reports and paperwork have been filed.
And also, Jessica, I believe we need a resolution required for this.
Yes, it'll be listed for the next meeting.
Thank you very much, Jess. Anything under committee reports for that, Councilman Conti?
So no, I'm not going to, no reports to report on her behalf. Sorry.
Okay, thank you. And while I still have you on the line, let's move right over to your public safety report, Councilman Conti.
Oh, good idea. All right. So no, no minutes and departmental reports there as well. We did get a request to travel from Sayreville Engine Company to attend a 100th anniversary celebration on July 31st in Union Beach.
Oh, I'm sorry, any objection? Doesn't seem like there is.
Yep, and requests received from residents on Cleveland Avenue to hold a block party on July 3rd from 11 to 11.
And Jessica, have all of the paperwork been filed in response to that block party?
Yes.
Okay, so is there any objection from the council? Wonderful, block party it is.
So
And-
brief committee reports. I went to the Flag Day celebration on Saturday over in front of St. Stan's. Nice little celebration. I appreciated the event. Small but nice, nice singing by Haley. Fire department there were hanging the American flag on their fire truck. Looked great. So thank you everybody for having me, and thank you everybody for their services that day. I really appreciate it. Very nice event. That's all I wanted to say. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Councilman Conti. We're going to go to Recreation. Councilman Enriquez, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I have no minutes or departmental reports. And as for committee reports, let me bring up the email. All right. We have our drive-in movie again, Saturday, July 17th. It will be Mighty Ducks, just as before. Do your pre-registration at SayrevilleRec.com. First come, first serve. We also have a summer play day event. It's going to be hosted Monday, July 26th, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. It'll include inflatable obstacle course, inflatable slide, carnival games, giant games, arts and crafts, and more. More information on that coming soon, but it will be on July 26th, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. And that's it, Mayor. Progress.
Thanks very much, Councilman Enriquez. Now, Council President Delina, you have the remainder of the reports. It is up to you. I'm thinking let's start with planning and zoning on the front page.
That sounds good to me. Under planning and zoning, there's no departmental reports or minutes. I would like to receive and file B1 as listed.
Second.
And then there's
Thank
no
you.
committee reports under planning and zoning. I will then go
Wonderful.
to under water and sewer. There's no minutes and departmental reports, and there's no committee reports. So then I will move to public works, and I would like to receive and file A, B, and C as listed.
Second.
And then
Thank you.
under committee reports, I also had the opportunity to attend the Flag Day raising on Saturday as well, along with Councilman Conti and Councilwoman Novak. It was a great event put on. Just goes to show how proud we are of our flag and our country, and everyone who was involved in that event did a fantastic job. And other than that, progress.
Thank you very much for all of those reports. I have no additional comments under my mayor's report, so we'll move right on to our business administrator's report. Mr. Frankel, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Just under administration and finance, just to make sure just to let the council know, as you stated, Mayor, we are opening up all of the buildings on a scheduled basis. And I just want to make sure, especially for this senior building, we have other organizations that do meet in the evening. I just want to make sure the council is at ease with, again, opening the buildings. If we just make sure we're doing social distancing, is the council okay to opening up the buildings, not just also during the day, but going back to what we were pre-COVID also in the evenings? Are we okay with that?
Dan, I have no issues with that as long as we're following our safety guidelines.
Okay.
As do I.
Me too.
Okay. Okay, good. Okay.
Hey, Dan, that sounds good. Did you also check when it came to our senior center? Because like you said, there's quite a few other organizations.
Well, we're gonna
did you just-
make sure we're gonna contact these organizations, and as long as everybody's okay, we're gonna walk before we run. We're just gonna make sure we have a little bit of an advantage. Usually over the summer, a lot of these meetings and organizations, they're limited to either one for the summer or none for the summer. But we'll go over all that we need to go with all these organizations and get to them and let them know that we're opening up and that they do have to follow our guidelines.
That sounds great. Thank you very much for that, Dan. And also check with the ladies as well in the senior center. Maybe we increase some of our cleaning regiments as well if we find that there's more organizations looking to meet again rather than less. We don't know what those numbers are going to be.
Correct.
Thanks very much, Dan.
Also under planning and zoning, late this afternoon, Jay and I had some conversations. So I just want everyone to know that we have been following up with the resident that lived on Main Street, and that he was asking for the speed limit to be reduced. And we said we can't do that until we spoke with the county. So we have spoken with the county. I have given the council the response that came back from the county, and we cannot move forward on anything in reference to this unless we do the minimum of a formal traffic study by a traffic engineer. Now, to do that, just so we all know, Jay said with the help of the police, and this is an approximate, that it could be anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 for this study, also with no guarantees that the speed limit would be reduced. So I need support from the council if you want to move forward with reducing. We've done as much as we can as a council. If you want to move forward, we would have to do this traffic report study with the help of the police and submit, which I gave you a report that came actually out of the county engineer's office, all the things that we need to do, but we'd have to start with this study. So if the council wants to move forward, or you want to think about it or discuss it, I just have to have some advisement of what to move forward with.
And what is the will of the council?
I mean, I'm okay with moving forward with the study. The safety of our residents is obviously the number one thing that we're trying to accomplish here. So I'm okay with moving forward with the study.
Yeah, I concur, right? Safety comes first, even if it obviously comes at a little bit of an expense. I know the resident has been has been bringing that to attention for a while. So that's what it's got to be to get it done. Let's check it out and give ourselves the best chance possible to change the speed limit there.
I agree, gentlemen. I think that it's the right thing to do at this point because we know we have traffic issues in other places and speeding. And I think this needs to go out as a little bit of a message to our residents as well, that we are looking actively in order to keep our streets safe for our pedestrians and our children and everybody else. So do we need to have a formal vote on that since there's an expenditure of monies, or are we going to put that onto a borough agenda?
Dan, we would have to have a resolution authorizing whoever to conduct that study.
I can prepare that resolution for next meeting, Jess and Mayor.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. Let's have that on the agenda for our next meeting because I know that these things do take time. So the faster we get it onto our agenda, the faster we can get things done. As a follow-up to that, very quickly, Mr. Conti, do you know if Sergeant Burrell was able to research or look into or make contact with Betty regarding her request and inquiry about reduction of the speed over in that section as well?
He didn't get back to me to let me know he did it, but he's pretty good about doing it. So I'll check with him just to make sure. He said that he would, and I'm thinking that he did. But I'll confirm with him tomorrow when he emails me back about the drag racing situation.
No, not the drag racing. This is
No, I know.
Sarah's mom.
Yeah, I know.
When you speak to her, okay.
Yeah.
I got
when
you.
he gets back to
the-
me, I'll check with him on that too.
That would be great because I'd like to follow up with her as well too. Thanks a lot, Vince. I appreciate it.
Sure.
Okay, I'm sorry, Mr. Frankel, you can continue. I apologize for the
Thanks, Mayor.
continued interruption.
Authorization to donate vehicles no longer needed for public use in the Saraville Fire Department for training purposes, a 1999 F-250 and a 2003 F-350. A request
If anyone
received from
has a question, they can just they can state after your list. If not, I'm going to let you just run
Okay.
right through it, Mr. Frankel.
Thank you. Request received from John Classic, Laborer of the Department of Public Works, for a military leave from July 1st, 2021 to September 17th, 2021. Also, authorization to have a mural painted on the railroad bridge on Main Street at a fee not to exceed $1,500. This is a mural that is response will be consulted with the veterans, and I just want to make sure everybody's okay with that. And we also got a letter from the Middlesex County, again, working with the Middlesex County Department of Transportation. We received a letter that under their construction and their projects, we have been approved to move forward with repaving 5 roads in county roads that are in the borough. It's Washington Road from the South River Bridge deck to South Minnesink, Main Street Bordentown Avenue from Albridge Turnpike to the county bridge deck by Middlesex Self-Storage, Raritan Street from Main Street to Ridgeway Avenue, Washington Avenue from Raritan Street to Cedar Street, and Bordentown Avenue from Ernston Road to Kenneth Avenue. So I just want to let people know that these roadways will probably be resurfaced anywhere beginning at the end of July and probably being finished somewhere by the 3rd week of August, if your schedule and weather is permissible. So that's a lot of paving that'll be going through on county roads in our town.
Dan, can you do me a favor also? I'm sorry to interrupt, but these are a lot of obviously our major roads, our major county roads. And I'm extremely excited every time they come to do their repaving, but let's make certain that we have ample time and notification put out to our residents through our social media sites and through our webpage, because this could potentially be a bit of a traffic nightmare, as well if you're not expecting or don't know that that's happening. And I know our police are usually very good with using the digital signs to give alerts as to when that's happening. So
Okay, will do.
thank you, Dan.
I have request for resolution to conduct the following program: a youth lacrosse 4-day for 1 week for $75 for residents and $100 for non-residents. And then under water and sewer, In your packet, there is a proposal that we received from a resident. This is a proposal that would remove the fences that are around the water treatment plant, and to replace that to meet with security measures, with as you saw, with security guards, part-time workers, correction officers, or police officers. It's, according to the residents, a little over a mile. They are so enthused by this program that they would like us to do to remove the fences that they will always, I'm sure they'd be willing to donate to us 2 ATVs to help us with this project. I put this in your packet. The residents spend a lot of time with this, so I don't know what you want to do in reference to this. I don't even know how you want to, if you want to study this. We did spend money as we had on the fence and the security, but the resident feels in order to, I guess, to be more efficient and to enjoy the Catholic Preserve, that this is the resident's proposal, and the resident wanted to make sure that I presented that proposal to you. The resident might be on under the public portion, so it's something that she asked you to strongly consider. And that's my report.
Comments? Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much. Any comments from the council on that? Okay. Let's go on then to our CFO's report. Denise Biancamano, please.
Authorization to amend the 2021 local municipal budget for the following: fiscal year 2021 Clean Communities Grant, $77,690.41. NJOAG Body Worn Camera Grant, $220,104. And Clicker Ticket 2021 Seatbelt Mobilization Grant for $6,000. And that is my report, Madam Mayor.
That you used my favorite word 3 times, Denise. Thank you. Grant, grant, and grant. Very good.
Madam Mayor, I can't even keep up with the grants we're receiving, but it's wonderful.
It is wonderful. Thank you so much, Denise. I appreciate that report. At this time now, we will move over to our Borough Engineers report. Jay, you know what words I like. So let's see if we get them.
Exactly, Mayor. Starting off the first item, the DOT Trust Fund, we're making grant applications for 2 projects, one for road improvements. We met with Mr. Frankel and Mr. Jakowski from your Public Works Department. It was recommended that Elizabeth Street be submitted, so that's one of the applications. The second is for a sidewalk along Bordentown Avenue from Winding Woods toward Journey Mill Road. So we need resolutions for both of those grant applications. Second
any
item.
objection from the? Okay, good. Continue, Jay.
Thank you. Second item is the Kennedy Park basketball court improvements. We're receiving bids next week, so if everything's in order, we'd like a resolution awarding a contract at your next meeting. And final item was Hercules Village Road project. That's been completed. Recommending a closeout of that contract with a net reduction to the original amount, and we'd like to have a resolution for that at your next meeting as well. That's it. Thank you.
And you continue to make me very happy, Jay, with the reduction. So very good. I appreciate that report. Borough Attorney's report. Anything, Mr. DuPont?
No, I just have no report, and then the good news, no executive session required.
Thank you very much. There's a lot of good news here. We will now open to the public for any and all statements. Remember that there is a 5-minute limitation on comments. If you wish to speak, please press *9 now. I do see a hand raised. Telephone number is 1482.
Good evening, Mayor. It's Karen Bailey Bieberts, 9 Burlington Road. One important thing I did leave out. On Sunday, the Patriotic Flag group of Sayreville met at the Parkway overpass and had a 2-hour rally. And we want to thank the Sayreville Police Department for sure for their support. And the Turnpike Authority had confronted the veteran that runs that group, Mr. Bob Bouthelette, and Fred Block also run the group, but they had been told, Bob had put up the division flags, the ones literally that make that red, white, and blue flag, all the divisions of the Army, the Navy, etc. That we were asked to take them down, or they were going to tear them down and remove them themselves. So Bob saluted the flags, respectfully took them down, and we had our rally. So I just want to say, and I would love to say on every meeting, possibly a new tradition, to thank our veterans in town. And I was very happy to just hear about the bridge mural that would be hopefully dedicated to the veterans. That sounds like that's what I heard, so that made me smile a lot. But thank you so much to our veterans and for the pride they have in our flag and our country, and the love that they have for us, literally, to do all that and to make those sacrifices, past, present, and future. That's all. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Ms. Biebert. And I know Councilman Delina, one of the purposes and one of the ideas behind putting the mural up under those bridges is hopefully we'll be able to represent those branches of the military as well. If we were not able to keep them hanging in the space that they were, it'd be nice to have a more permanent representation of that. And I know you're working with coming up with those plans and ideas. So thank you very much.
Yes,
Anybody
thank
else
you.
from the public? Yes, it's a very good initiative, Kevin. I'm looking forward. I know you've been pushing for this for over a year now. I do see another hand raised. I believe the name is Aubrey Navarro. You're in the public portion. Please state your name and address for the record. I'm sorry, Aubrey, I think you need to unmute.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Go ahead.
Okay, hi. My name's Aubrey Navarro Conway. I am from Sayreville. I'm born and raised. And I just wanted to ask tonight, I'm a patient advocate for medical marijuana, and I have been for 7 years now. And I work with terminal children and, well, terminal patients and mostly juvenile cases. So I just wanted to make a comment real quick that I really don't care about like recreational marijuana or Sayreville's like stand on it. I'm only concerned about medical. And I understand like there's a hesitation because you don't know, towns know what the regulations are coming for legalization and opting out. I get that. But I just wanted to urge the council to reconsider including medical. And I don't understand why medical would be included in the ban, because those, the people that would be going there, we're talking about, you know, veterans. We're talking about people with seizures. We're talking about people with Crohn's, people with cancer. So they're not bothering anyone. And I just would urge the council to reconsider you know, leaving medical out of the ban, not because any company is like looking to come here right now, just for the future, you know, and for the patients, you know, it just, I think it's unnecessary. There is a clear set of regulations that the Department of Health has for towns, whether they will or will not allow medical to come to their town. So it's not like, you know, recreational where we don't know what is happening because we don't have regulations about it yet. So I just urge you guys to reconsider the medical part. I think that's unnecessary to include in the ban. Thank you guys.
Thank you very much for your comments. I appreciate that. Our last meeting, we did have a very extensive conversation about that, and I don't want to speak out of turn, but I believe that the council would agree with me. We do have that support for medical marijuana use, and we want to do it the right way. So while it's included currently in that opt-out, in what we did, please know that it is really out of the abundance of caution and to give us the opportunity to actually do it right. And I think that with the help of our attorney, Mr. DuPont, who spoke very poignantly and very sincerely, I won't reiterate, those are his words that he shared with us in his personal experience. So I think that you will be happy with the decisions that the council ultimately makes, because I do believe that we all feel similarly to what you are. We want to make sure that those people in need, especially patients and individuals, young people, old people in need of medical marijuana, have that available. And here in Sayreville, we want to do it the right way. I just ask that everybody give us a little bit of time and patience so that way we can get familiar with it and understand what's going to serve our town the best. So I thank you so much for your advocacy and for calling in. And I will ask you to please just stay tuned. Feel free to call in again. But we're definitely on, I think, the same page as you are.
Okay, thank you. I'm happy to hear that.
Very good. Thank you. Have a good evening. Ladies and gentlemen, without seeing anybody else from the public wishing to speak, I will entertain a motion to close the public portion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And now at this point, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, have a very good evening, and we will see each other again in a couple of weeks. Good night, all.